200 people who were on board to a plane that was bound to Nicaragua and that flew from UAE. Last few days have been very unbreakable. We know that most of them, about 276, have finally landed back home, and certain people, about 2 dozen of them, who are still in the process of seeking asylum in France, have been given some judicial approval so that their process on their documentation process could be done at the French airport only. We know that the plane that was bound for Nicaragua, which happens to be a Central American country and a very notorious conduit for illegally entering USA, was in spotlight in the recent weeks when these 300 people were stopped and the plane was stranded for about 3 to 4 days before finally these passengers were allowed to go back to India. And also this illegal immigration activity happens through Nicaragua and other places also, and many times we have seen Indian families, Indian people and youth being trapped by these touts who promise them a better dream and illegally getting chance to illegally enter not only USA. We have seen multiple cases happening in for a border crossing in European countries, in Canada, in Australia also, but this time through an anonymous trip, the French authorities were able to stop that plane and check thoroughly all the passengers on board, and about 276 were found to be being in the process of illegally going somewhere. And finally, the cases which were initially suspected to be of human trafficking, that was dropped, and French authorities are now probing the case through the lens of being illegally trying to enter some other countries. About 2 dozen people who have sought asylum, they have been granted some judicial approval, and about 20 of them are adults and 5 of them are minor, and the documentation process is ongoing. Their identity, their nationality has not been made public, and the process is still on. Asylum seekers can't be sent back to their country of origin under the law of France, and we know that on multiple occasions that political asylum people seek asylum in these European countries on the basis of politically being oppressed or on the charges that could be a vendetta against them because of the government, or on religious ground also. Certain times these asylums are sought and granted by these countries, but this time on what ground these asylum seekers have asked their application, that is still not clear. But the process of about 20 odd people is still being cleared, and the documentation process is on after the judicial approval in France. The lawyer have said the judges was able to resist media pressure in this case, which led to their release. The plane belonging to Romanian Legend airline landed in Mumbai early this morning with about 276 passengers after a go-ahead from the French judge, and it is known that it is not known exactly how many of those asylum seekers that who are still in France are of Indian origin, because their nationalities have not been made clear. But we know that about 303 people were on board to this Romanian flight, which was stopped in France, and finally the illegal immigration activity was found, and French authorities, after much of their documentation process, about 276 people were sent back to India, and about some 20 plus people are still in France, and their asylum application are still being processed by the French authorities.